Hey, welcome to So Awkward. It's me, Don, and I just bought, maybe I'll regret it, a PlayStation Classic console. A lot of people have reviewed it and said it's the worst thing ever made, basically. But I've kind of wanted one. But a lot of the reviews that I've watched and read rubbed me the wrong way. A lot of it definitely had me concerned because I didn't buy it. But I got a notification a couple weeks ago saying an item in your cart has decreased, has the price has come down and it went down to $60. And I was like, oh, I'll think about it. But then I didn't do it. And then this morning, or actually a couple hours ago, I got another email reminding me I had this thing in my cart, and I was like, okay, may as well buy it. It's still $60. If you go to the store, I think it's still listed at $100. But so I don't know if it's $100 or $60. All I know is if you've had it in your cart since the first week of December when it came out, it might be $60 for you. It might be $100 for you. I don't know. I paid $60, and I also paid with my Target credit card, which gives you, I think I got like $6 or $7 off. So it was like, let's say I paid $50 for it. Why did I buy it? I don't know. I want to play Final Fantasy VII. I'm not going to pretend I'm some kind of hardcore elite gamer. And most of the reviews that came out, like the first week this thing was out, were by hardcore elite gamers. But I am a gamer. The first console I ever played was probably an Atari. The second was another Atari. I had a ColecoVision. I'm 41 years old. I had a Commodore 64. That may have been my favorite as a kid. And then my brother and I chipped in together to get the NES. I think within the first few months it came out. I saved up my allowance. I got a Super Nintendo when that came out. I got a Nintendo 64 when that came out. I got a Dreamcast. I had a Sega Saturn, Genesis, Master System. I've had everything. I'm a middle class white guy. I've had a lot of things. But I don't consider myself some kind of elitist. But I love video games, and I've been playing video games ever since they were invented, more or less. I remember my first experience with the PlayStation. I was in college, Goucher College in Towson, Maryland, and I don't remember when I started, but I graduated in 2001, so you can do the math. I brought my Super Nintendo with me because the Super Nintendo was I still loved it. I hadn't bought I don't think the N64 had come out yet. The PlayStation had, but I don't know anything about the PlayStation. But a guy a couple doors down from me in my dorm hall, Keith Pepling, he had a PlayStation. And so we would play that. But as time went on, more people would come and hang out in my room to play the Super Nintendo because the Super Nintendo was better. But I do remember hanging out with Keith Pepling and playing it's on here, Jumping Flash, and a few other games, but nothing really, I didn't love it. I was like, I'm going to go back and play my Super Nintendo. But then the next year I got a dorm with my friend Justin Blum. Shout out to Justin Blum. And at one point his brother, Jordan, or Josh, no, I think it was Josh Blum, the 3 J's. And he had a PlayStation that was modded, because he was one of those guys. He's probably working with the Pentagon now. I don't know. He was some kind of hacker. And he had just like a binder full of games, with like Sharpie written on it. And I remember playing Final Fantasy VII and Resident Evil. And then I was like, I need to buy one of these fucking things. Because I remember playing Final Fantasy VII, and then there was one night where I remember staying up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and everybody was trying to sleep, and I was like, no, I've got to, just one more. Final Fantasy VII was the greatest game It's basically the reason I bought this. So I love the PlayStation. But when the reviews for this came out, they weren't good. But a lot of the... So let's look at what I remember from a month ago being the main complaints people had with this. The price. $100. I got it for $50 plus. So I would not have bought this just for Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear for $100. $100 is too much money for 20 games. The games list. So when they first announced this, I think they announced like 4 or 5 games and said there will be 20, the rest will be announced later, which is really weird. And I remember thinking, I really, really, really want Parappa the Rapper. I really, really want Resident Evil 2. I really, really, really want Gran Turismo. None of those are on there. But they do have, I'll just read the list of games. Battle Arena Toshinden. I think I played it. I don't remember. Cool Borders 2. I don't think I ever played it. Destruction Derby. I think I played it, but I don't remember. Final Fantasy VII. Possibly my favorite video game of all time. Grand Theft Auto. Never played it. I've never played the original. Intelligent Cube. Never played it. Jumping Flash. I remember liking it in Keith Papling's room, but I don't think I really played it that much. Metal Gear Solid. Great game. Excited to play it again. Mr. Driller. Never played it. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Never played it. Rayman. Love it. Excited to play it again. Resident Evil Director's Cut. I don't think I've played the Director's Cut because this might be TMI, I played through the original Resident Evil on the Sega Saturn. I bought the Sega Saturn before I bought a PlayStation. Revelations Persona, no idea what that is. Ridge Racer Type 4, I probably played it. I know I played a bunch of Ridge Racer games. I'm excited to play that. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, never played it. Siphon Filter, played it, loved it. I remember when that came out, that was one of my favorite games when it came out. Tekken 3, played it, loved it. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, I think I played it. Twisted Metal, probably played it. I think I remember Twisted Metal 2 more, but I'm pretty sure I played the first one. Wild Arms, some RPG, I don't think I played it. And another, so, yeah, there's no Parappa the Rapper, there's no Resident Evil 2, there's no Gran Turismo, there's a bunch of games that really should be on here that aren't, and there's a bunch of games that are on here that shouldn't be, but whatever. They announced the games list before I bought it, before anybody bought it. So if you bought it and gave it a 1-star review because you didn't like the games list, that doesn't make any sense. And then what people said was, a lot of these versions are the PAL versions, and they say that it plays slower, the frame rates are slower, and something. Maybe that's a big deal. I'm not going to pretend I know what the difference between PAL and NTSC is, even though I did live in Europe, and I had a PAL Nintendo Entertainment System growing up. And I never noticed a difference between that. But then again, that's an NES, and this is a PlayStation. Maybe Tekken 3, the PAL version, is unplayable. That's what people have said. They've said the PAL versions are unplayable. We're going to find out today. People have said that there's no music during the menus, on the menu screen. I have the NES and the Super NES Classic, and when you turn it on, there's delightful music that plays while you choose your game, which I don't remember what it sounds like because I don't listen to the music. I turn it on and I load up a game. Maybe I hear the music for 10 seconds. I don't care that there's no music. Each game only has 1 save slot, whereas I think on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo Classic they have like 3 or 4. I don't have any friends. I live alone. I have literally only used 1 save slot per game, so that's not a deal breaker for me. But if you have a lot of friends and brothers and sisters, I can understand why that might be a concern. But I don't really care. It says right here, USB AC adapter not included. That means there's no way to power this thing up unless you already have a USB power adapter, which is ridiculous. What would that have cost them? $10? $5? So basically, because I have an NES and a Super Nintendo Classic, I'm probably going to be plugging my Sony PlayStation Classic into the wall with an adapter that has the NES logo on it. And that's funny. It's ridiculous. I can understand that's annoying. Sony, you can't even include a power adapter. And I am a Switch owner, and they did announce that Final Fantasy VII and a bunch of other Final Fantasy games are going to be re-released on the Switch. So I've been waiting for those. And that's the one reason why I wasn't going to buy this. But they still haven't really released a release date for those. And I was like, I kind of want to play it with a PlayStation controller. Oh, and another complaint is that it doesn't have it's not the DualShock controllers. So it doesn't have the analog sticks, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's check it out. That's a lot of box for this. Okay. Just like the NES and NES Classic, it's adorable. It's adorable. It looks just like a PlayStation. And HDMI out. It's even got a fake slots for memory cards, which is pretty funny. And then it does come with 2 controllers. I can't remember the last time I've held a PlayStation controller in my hands. It feels really good. One of the best controllers ever made, and it brings me back. Anyway, let's see if it works. There's no music in the menus. And the menus is very simple, but I can't say that I really care. Would it be nice if they threw in like a cool... But I don't... When I think of Nintendo, I think of cute. I think of fun games. I think of jingles. I think of mascots. When I think of PlayStation, I don't really think of that. Anyway, let's check out Tekken 3, because that is the PAL version, which everybody says is unplayable. And I loved Tekken 3 when it came out. Let's check it out. It's been a while since I've heard that. It sounds good. When this came out, this was the coolest intro I've ever seen. It still looks pretty darn good. Let's begin. Will I notice a difference?
Round 1. Fight.
I'm not good. I never was good. Is it slower? I can't. I don't know. Maybe.
Round 2.
I think it looks amazing. I thought it would just be a mess of polygons, but it looks gorgeous. How do you jump? Okay. I used to be pretty good at this game. I was never great. How do you block? The people who reviewed this said that it was basically unplayable. I have not played Tekken 3 in 20 years, so I'm not like a hardcore gamer who has been playing this and has, I haven't played PlayStation, God knows, since PlayStation 2 came out. I think it looks great. I think it plays great. Let's check out another game. Still fun. Still fun. Oh god. One of my fears about because 2D graphics aged better than 3D graphics. Because I still have an N64 which I play occasionally, and it looks awful, whereas Super Nintendo still looks great. So I was really afraid that the PlayStation games would be just a mess, but no, it was good. I'm into it. Third place, not bad for my first time in 20 years. So that's the PlayStation Classic. I've been playing it for a little bit, played a couple games, played Final Fantasy VII for a while, and Final Fantasy VII is still fun. Do I recommend it? I paid $60 for it. If you can get it for $60, maybe that's the suggested retail price now that everywhere has it for. I don't know. If you're got a hankering to play some PlayStation games, I think it's pretty fun. It's what I expected. It's better than I expected, considering how everybody else on the internet thinks this is the worst thing ever made. It's not the worst thing ever made. It seems pretty solid to me, and the games hold up. I have the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo Classic, and I'll be honest, I don't really play them that often. I bought them for nostalgia's sake, and because they have some great games that every now and again I have a hankering to play. Say like Super Mario 3, or Metroid, or Super Castlevania. I pop it in, I'll play for a half hour, an hour. And then a month will go by, and then I'll play, I'll have a hankering to play Contra. So I'll play Contra, for 20 minutes. I can see how this, like, maybe I'll want to play some Ridge Racer. Maybe I'll be like, hey, I've got the next couple days off. I'm going to play through Resident Evil. I think it's pretty fun. I haven't played every game, and maybe I'll go more in depth in another video. As I, test out all the games and see if it's fun. But so far, I kind of like it. I'm giving it a tentative thumbs up. As a 41-year-old gamer who isn't that picky, who only needs one save slot, who doesn't care about menu music, who doesn't care about emulation filters or whatever the hell people care about. I just kind of wanted to play Final Fantasy VII again, and Metal Gear Solid, and a Ridge Racer, so I'm happy. But I will probably have an update in a few weeks, maybe, as I play through the games and spend a little more time with it, and maybe Jester will try it out. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty fun. I think it's worth $60. Maybe not $100, but who knows? I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Anyway, thanks for watching, and feel free to give me a million thumbs down and tell me how I'm an idiot, because this is actually the worst thing ever made. But I don't really see it. I think it's pretty cool. Thanks. Bye. I'm not being endorsed by Sony. I'm just a guy.